Action. Action, goddamn.
Hi y'all, welcome back to Lala's Time Machine.
Cut.
Hi y'all, welcome to Lala's Time Machine. This is a channel dedicated to a current cookbook for my future grandchildren. Today we're going to be working with my first recipe that I ever put into my cookbook, which is lasagna.
Lasagna. Lasagna.
So we're working with the first recipe that I've ever put in my cookbook, which is lasagna. This ain't your grandmama's lasagna, it's my lasagna. You get it? Because I'm the grandma. Yeah. Oh. In fact, y'all, I'm so excited. I'm wearing my Italian shoes. Matter of fact, I wanted to wear a sweater that looked like lasagna. Matter of fact, I'm so excited. It's like 11 p.m. and here we are, you and me, doing this together. Let's take a little gaze into the cookbook, shall we? So this is the cookbook, and the most beautiful thing about this cookbook is there's only one of these in the entire world. So, beautifully enough, here it is, all its glaze and glory, and here's our lasagna. Now, every page, like I listed, is always gonna have my time prepared, cook time, equipment needed, serving size, which I always purposely do bigger because I'm thinking about the fact that, y'all, I may have a big family. I don't know who my grandchildren are. Matter of fact, I don't even know who my kids are.
Whose goddamn white baby is that?
I think what's really important about my cookbook is I have important brands. This is going to be my ingredient list. I'm always going to have all the quantities on this side. Everything's color coded and all of my ingredients. Now, if y'all cannot read what I wrote, too bad. And you know what? Pray for my future grandkids and children too. And then of course I have my step-by-step. I'm always gonna make sure I give the preheat time, the cook time, minutes, and little tidbits. Always are gonna be in blue. And the most important thing I love about my recipe book is I'm always gonna make sure that I have an extra sprig. And this is going to be something that can always accompany a dish. So now that y'all know a little bit about the lasagna, let's get baking and cheesing. Okay, so we are now going to talk about ingredients. What do y'all need? What equipment would y'all need for this lasagna? Honestly, Italians, don't come for me. It ain't your grandmama's. I'm the grandmama. Get it? You got it again? Did you get it?
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, okay. Okay, ingredients. We have turkey chicken sausage, ground turkey, chopped onion, minced garlic, crushed tomatoes, tomato paste, tomato sauce, white sugar, basil, rosemary, Italian seasoning, a seasoning salt, garlic salt, paprika, black pepper, parsley, noodles, butter, neutral oil. I like to use avocado oil. Ricotta cheese, egg, mozzarella, fresh grated parm, and some crumble parm. This is a perfected dish, and it's so good. I had a picky eater like this lasagna. Food touching, slipping and sliding. We need to start with getting this pasta in the water, and we also need to start with getting the meat on the pan. Let me put a disclaimer. Y'all, this recipe is wholeheartedly lactose and gluten, completely. And you know what? Let me let y'all in on a little secret. Just a little secret, yeah? I'm gluten and lactose intolerant.
They ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
Another thing. Don't. I'm almost there, y'all. We about to get sizzling and cracking, right? Brands. Cento. For my lasagna, my grandchildren will know. I don't care if you have to go to China. Okay, you have to go to Peru. You gotta go to Chicago. Okay, you're gonna go to a grocery store that has Cento. Also, when I was in Florence, I learned how to make homemade pasta. So I'm really kind of cutting myself short because it takes time and it's a lot of rolling, a lot of dough, and a lot of sitting. And y'all, we trying to make some lasagna. We ain't got time to be all that cute and fancy. But just so y'all know, yes, I learned how to make pasta in Florence by an incredible chef. He's great. And maybe y'all should go find him one day if y'all go to Florence. And I have a brand that I like. It's Barilla. I love Barilla noodles. It's what works for me. but maybe I'll do a video on how to make homemade lasagna. Okay, any other brands? Let's see, ask for other brands. Oh, in the ricotta. I love Old Polly ricotta. It's what works for me. This is the only ricotta that I use in my lasagna. Maybe if y'all have another suggestion, let me know. And then of course we have fresh and local cheese, especially the mozzarella and the parmesan. Fresh and local, nothing too crazy, also quite affordable. Okay, let's get baking. So let's start. Okay, now y'all, do not come for me for my onion cutting skills. Okay, I didn't go to culinary school. I went to my mama's school. You know what, that's the best school. So we'll put the scraps over here and then peel. You want to peel this outer layer until you get to, I think it's called like the allium, I believe.
How do you know that?
I've been watching Food Network since I was a young one. All right, I also think I'm peeling my first layer of onions, so this is where I get a little confused, I'm not gonna lie. We're just peeling some onion. Beautiful. Look at the water. You see the water? Y'all see the water? So we're gonna just like make cuts. This is actually a lot of onion. We're gonna start with half. And then we're gonna start with cuts. These aren't probably gonna be the best dices in the world, but I think these are pretty good. I like to go in and we're just gonna... All right, so let's go ahead and put this into a bowl. All right, next we have garlic. So I have a whole ball. We are gonna go ahead and do 2 cloves. You just take your knife down. Did you hear that crack? And look at this. This is y'all, this is like the easiest way to get your garlic. Look how beautiful. All right, let's go ahead and we're just gonna do a quick little mince on it. Nothing crazy. I also have some other garlic, but this, I just want a little finer. Nice. We got a hot pan.
Yeah, hot. I'm hot.
We're gonna start and go ahead and get our meat together. We are going to need to use some neutral oil. I love to use avocado oil personally. That's what I use for a majority of my recipes. We have some ground turkey. You know how y'all, here, come here, I got a little secret for y'all. Remember how I said that I'm actually gluten and lactose intolerant? I also can't eat beef or pork. Yeah. So we're using ground turkey and chicken and turkey sausage. And then we just have some thyme, rosemary, parsley, and basil. But we'll get into that later. Let's go ahead and get this on the pan. Okay, y'all, so let's go ahead and heat up the pan. Personally, gas over electric. And we're gonna go ahead and have it on about like a 6 to 7, 7 to 6 range. And let's readjust it. Don't do what I just did and touch the pot. I have Mexican on hands. So our pan's nice and hot. A good test that I like to use is some water. You heard that sizzle? Let's do it again. Ooh, do it one more time. All right. Next, we are going to go ahead and do some olive oil or neutral oil. I prefer to use, like I said, avocado oil. For this, y'all, I let the ancestors tell me when to stop. We just need enough to coat the pan to get it nice and warm and nice and hot before we put our meat in. Okay, so I just like to do a quick little pickup just to coat the pan. We are now going to start with our ground turkey. There may be some splatter. It's okay. I'm a tough gal. We're gonna go ahead and I personally like to slap it down. That might not be smart, so we're gonna be better. We're just gonna look at that. Beautiful. Yeah, y'all. All right. So this is a time where I am gonna start to break up the meat a bit more. You can already. One more time. We're gonna turn down the gas a little bit. Let it cook. We don't want to burn it, so it's already kind of opaque on this side, which is good. It hasn't burnt. It smells good, and we are going to go ahead and, because they're in like chunks now, we're gonna go ahead and start to flip over some of this other sides. Okay, y'all. So I've moved the ground turkey to the back burner. We're gonna go ahead and have this pan hot as well. Like y'all know, I do a little water check.
That
Nada.
doesn't sound.
There's no sizzle, y'all. So we're gonna go and cook our turkey. I did a separate pan just because the one I'm used to is at my dad's house. Okay. The ancestors told me to stop. Okay. Like we did before, we're just gonna move it around the pan, make sure everything's completely oiled, and we're going to add our. Ooh, look at that sizzle! Nice. All right. We're gonna go ahead and let that sit for a second, and let's go back. Let's go ahead and move back to our ground turkey. That should be almost done. Oh! 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 Ah!
Okay, Grandma.
Okay, y'all. So we're gonna go ahead. I like to make a bit of a well. We're gonna go ahead, checking on our sausage as well, making sure that's cooking. Increase the heat a little bit. I want it nice and brown. There's some bits that are getting brown, and then we'll combine, but I like to do a separate pan. We're gonna go ahead and add our onion, and I am gonna add it into the middle of the well. I use my hands just because I have a lot of onion and garlic, so we're just gonna go ahead and add enough. I think my recipe called for maybe like a cup, which, you know, maybe a lot for you. We're just gonna go ahead and start giving the onions and this a mix before we add in our garlic. The onions, I want them to get a little welty. They're gonna cook more, of course, and get more caramelized and brown. The turkey that I'm using is 93% lean, 10% fat, and our sausage over here is about 10% fat, 90% lean. We're gonna go ahead now and give our garlic. I called for, I believe, 3 tablespoons of garlic. It looks like a lot. Honestly, do as much as you want to. I want to see more color on these onions. I want the garlic to get fermented. Handy dandy can opener. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all though, I did not know how to open a can with a can opener until my dad showed me. Because he has, all my life, he's had an automatic can opener. Maybe like, well, have you ever been in a situation we've had to open a can? What does this look like? Survivor? Okay. So we have, oh my gosh. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. My God! Wow! We have these cute little tomato paste. So I do crushed tomatoes, tomato sauce.
Ooh.
As I'm saying, tomato.
I guess it doesn't call for tomato paste.
Yes, it does. Let's try this again. I can do it. Yay!
Yo. Cut.
Cut the cameras. Dead ass. I've gone ahead and transferred the turkey, the onion, the garlic into a Dutch pot just because I have more room. And then we're gonna go ahead and add our sausage. It's been broken up. We're gonna add that in. We have some good fat that's gone in here. That's what I like. And then let's go ahead and give that a good mix. We're gonna combine now. So this recipe calls for oregano, parsley, black pepper, seasoned salt, garlic salt, and whatever other seasons you want to put in. We are not measuring, okay? What we're gonna do is I'm gonna sprinkle, and when I hear a little whisper, stop. Because y'all, we don't measure seasonings. The ancestors tell me when, okay? And some of y'all ancestors don't even tell y'all to start. Okay, the next round is just going to be some smoked paprika, Lowry's. Let's go ahead and add some of this in and give it a mix. Okay, next we're gonna add our tomato. Like I said, Cinto to me is the best tomato to use for this recipe. I've done extensive research here. I'm a researcher. I actually am, y'all. I actually am. Master's degree certified. We are gonna go with our crushed tomato. Beautiful. Next is our tomato sauce. I like to add some of that in as well. Again, we'll get the remnants out. Lastly, we have our tomato paste. I like all of it. And I could have made my own tomato paste, and I could have made my own tomato sauce, which I do have, and that will be a video, is how to make tomato sauce. But as of now, we're just gonna go ahead and use the cans because it tastes good. You hear it bubbling, y'all? That's how my thoughts be sounding. Okay, let's go ahead and give this a good mix.
Oh, sure.
Did I drop some? Oh, she hot. She's singing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now she's dead. Here is we have our rosemary, we have some Italian basil, and then we have some parsley. We don't need the parsley for right now. What we are gonna do though is add some basil leaves. I call for 8 basil leaves. And then we're gonna go with our rosemary. And some people like to do the sprigs. I don't like when the sprigs end up getting caught in the sauce. So we're just gonna do the entire rosemary thing and then have that mix in. Lastly, I know it's a hot take, but I like to add sugar into my tomato sauce. This is the way Lala's going to do it, and in this house, it's the Lala's way, okay? So we have sugar. For this one, we have measured because we don't need diabetes. No mas, okay? So this is about 3 tablespoons of sugar. So we have our sauce. It's getting there. It's tasting really good. We're gonna go ahead and work on our pasta water. Now, here's my hot take. We're salting. We're salting.
What the hell?
We're salting like the sea. The saltier the water, the better the pasta.
Are you out of your mind?
Well, yes.
Okay, Lala, smelling good in here.
Half a cup of pasta tomato water. And good news for us, our pasta water is ready. So let's come over here and look at that. So if we look inside, it's boiling, it's hot. We're going with 2 boxes of Barilla pasta lasagna. So really, I just throw them in, throw as many as you can in. Let these boil. Well, honestly, y'all, the answers just tell me when it's boiled. So we're just gonna check back in on it and they'll be ready. Lastly, we have to go ahead and preheat the oven. So we have to preheat. We'll do bake. And we'll do for 375. How do we address putting the lasagna in something? Lasagna can't float in no air. Let's have a conversation about lasagna containers in which we bake. So we have a glass baking dish. The way that I personally like to butter is, I'm not gonna lie y'all, I take the butter, you're just gonna rub the edges, but for the purpose of this video, we will use a very nice buttering spaghetti haired looking spoon. So come on then, so I can show you how to prepare this for our lasagna building. So we have our baking dish, that's glass. We are going to go in with one of these. You can have one in your thing. This has been room temperature butter. It has been sitting out for a while, so it's nice and malleable, as you can see. I quite literally like to bake and do my entire, at least bottom in butter. We have buttered him up, all nice, all fatty, are ready to go. Our water is also ready. Hefty one. And follow me here. Let's go ahead and strain all of the noodles. We're gonna see whether our noodles are ready and done to go. If it sticks, it's stuck. Perfectly salted, okay? Salt your water like the sea, baby, and you're gonna see it run free. Aha!
You okay?
So, I mean, yeah, I'm fine. Doing his own take. I'm just separating the noodles and bits at a time. Okay, so let me stop saying okay. So, no, I'm gonna say let me stop saying we, it's me. I am cooking, nope. Right now, I am buttering the noodles. I know this is probably not typical of how lasagna is made, but this is a seasoned household. Every ounce shall be seasoned if. We've buttered our noodles. We have a beautiful bowl of them. We are now going to season, and then I use my hands. We're gonna mix in the ricotta, the parsley, the eggs. We've got enough butter, and our seasoning salt. So this is garlic salt. This is all I use. You can just start and then deliberately as you mix in. We're also gonna crack 2 eggs, and then we're going to add our ricotta. So because it's a large quantity, I'm actually going to divide this in 2. So we can go ahead, and then you see the seasoning will make it to the bottom. Beautiful. So it's a lot of lasagna. So this recipe is intended for a larger group of people. And then we can do the rest of our garlic salt for now. We're gonna crack 1 egg. Now, I like to do an egg. You saw that? Did you see that? So we have an egg, and then I'm gonna just take, for the sake, half of this ricotta. And I like to mix the ricotta in pre-layering. Pans fresh, nice and clean. And really, I'm not gonna lie, you're just mixing everything. So, the time has come to assemble our lasagna. We have our sauce, we have our ricotta caressed noodles.
Caressed is crazy.
We have our fresh parm, we have some mozzarella, and we also have shredded parm, shaved parm. And we also have a little olive. We may put just in between a little bit, and then we also just have some nice basil. So we have some parsley. I like to pick it up and just add it in between. Now, before we get started on building, what we need to do is actually take out. Remember how we put the basil and the. We're gonna take it out. So I see one. This is just one, and you know, I hate to say goodbye to her, but she was only here for a short time, not a long time. It's really good. Actually, this is very, very good sauce. Very, very yummy. From what I can see, my recipe calls for the first layer of meat sauce or a tomato meat sauce, and then noodles. Ricotta mix with the dish, and then we're going to do parsley, mozzarella slices, parm, and continue that cycle. So let's go ahead and do a little rotation. Okay, so now that we have our buttered dish, we're going to go ahead and put our tomato meat sauce at the bottom. Go ahead and just make sure everything's evenly covered, even spread it out, make sure that it's getting the whole bottom. We're going to do another switcheroo where we get our noodle ricotta mix. And you just want to go ahead and layer it the way that you want, cover the whole bottom, make sure that it's a good barrier for the cheese, most importantly. So, you know, this is kind of small, do as you wish. I think I'm about like 5, did a little extra to get the corners, to make sure everything is reassured. And then we're going to go in with our mozzarella. And personally, I like it really cheesy, so I tear them into shreds and we're just going to place them at the bottom. And we want to cover the entire layer of pasta with a really good layer. And then we're going to go ahead and finish that. And then do our parmesan. And so you go ahead and it's shredded. We're going to sprinkle through the nooks and crannies that we could not get with the mozzarella. And then once we finish that, make sure it's even. Go ahead and do our crumbled parmesan. A nice layer. And honestly, y'all do this all the way until the dish is filled to the top. Layered, we are now going to put aluminum foil on top and then take this to the oven. So we are now going to have this covered nicely. Hopefully it doesn't ooze out, but sometimes it does. Make sure it's nice and packed up. Place this inside of the oven. So come this way. I'm gonna place it in the center of the rack. Ooh, my gosh. And then we're gonna set our timer on our oven. Time for extra sprig. This is a part that I've put in for my own cookbook. So because we are doing lasagna today, our extra sprig is homemade garlic butter Parmesan bread. Very delicious, and it calls for fresh sourdough bread. We have garlic butter, which we are going to make. We have crumbled Parmesan and some minced garlic. That's it. Boy, we'll make you happy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We are dream girls. Boy, we'll always be. So we're gonna go ahead and cut our bread, spread on our garlic butter, and then we'll have it ready prepped. So this is some bread. I chose not to make my homemade bread, but I will be making a video on how to make homemade French bread. We're just gonna cut Okay, perfect. Next, let's bring back over our pan. Remember to get a baking tray and line it with aluminum. And then we have our breads. So we're just gonna take this and spread it on one half. This is kind of it. It's really simple, it's delicious. To the side, it's gonna get nice and buttery and gooey. Okay, so now we have about 10 minutes, so we're gonna go ahead and put this in the oven. Guys, look what we have in front of us. Our lasagna and our extra sprig homemade garlic bread. So we have our two bowls. We have lasagna that's just come out of the oven. I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle a little bit of parsley just for a garnish. Freshly chopped ain't the prettiest, but that's not the point. The point is what we're getting into. Ignore the overfill of the pasta. The dish was small. The dish was small. So this was in the oven for about 40 minutes. Oh, it's like oozing and dripping. I don't know how big of a piece. Let's go this way. It's saucy. It's tomatoey. It's exactly how we like it. Oh, I think it's gonna overspill. That's okay. Look at the cheese stretch, you guys. Look at the cheese. That's the mozzarella. This is the ricotta. I just love pronouncing it this way. I'm probably butchering the accent on top of it. Let's get some more ooey gooiness in here. Oh my gosh, y'all. Look just how delicious that looks. Amazing. And we have all this cheese. Look at the cheese balls, y'all. Look at the cheese balls. So much cheese, so much gooiness. And the best part is we can take this, take a piece of our garlic bread, and voila, you have Lala's lasagna with homemade garlic butter bread. I have no words. I think I need to try. Should I try it? This requires no classes. All right, let's see. Ours love. We have the cheese, the meat, the sauce that's been cooking. I mean, all of it. We'll take a good, nice bite. Y'all, it is hot. Oh my gosh, it's hot, hot. Yeah, this is delicious. It ain't your grandmama's, but it's mine. And that's all that matters. This is the type of lasagna that would knock your Italian grandmother's boots off. What can I say? Flavor, seasoning, love, time, care. All in one dish. I don't know what to say. Y'all, this is delicious. It's great. It's the first thing in my cookbook. And I hope one day my grandkids will be like, holy moly, my grandma really ate down on this dish. I don't know, y'all. This is... Lala ate down. Lala ate down. I have nothing else. We can wrap it because I have nothing else to say.